Something very strange happened to the space game genre, and in my opinion, it fundamentally changed what a lot of us actually want from these sort of games. Now, there's a very clear before and after moment here, and the game responsible for much of this is, of course, No Man's Sky, which just passed its 10-year anniversary. So, my thanks to Hello Games for sponsoring this video. Do check out the links in the description where you can find out everything you need to know. So, what changed? Well, a lot actually. I mean, think about it. Seamless flight, the ability to go from space down the surface of the planet without any loading screens, surfaces and vistas that actually look spectacular, different weather effects, abandoned outposts, tech that you can find and discover along the way, and even other vehicles outside of spaceships that we can use, whether these are ground cars or even submarines. I think there's a general feeling in 2026 that a space game can kind of be the everything game, and as a theme it's an idea that, in my opinion, wouldn't quite exist in the same form as it does today without No Man's Sky. Today then, I really want to talk about my personal feelings on what it's like to experience this game, what it actually feels like as a space sim, and I guess there's nothing else quite like it out there, and that is a very telling statement. Especially if you haven't played No Man's Sky before, or if you played it years ago and haven't been back to it for a while. And it actually leads me on to a very interesting subject, because people often ask me, what is it like to play No Man's Sky? What do I think about it as a game? My answer to that is largely this splits into two separate parts. Firstly, what the world itself is like, and secondly, what you can actually do in the game. And these two elements really do go hand in hand, but not in the way that you might initially expect. It's kind of a deep subject, largely because of the sheer breadth of the No Man's Sky universe. I mean, think about it. We've got seamless flight. This is the ability to go from space down to the surface of planets. And for me, it's the whole starting point of what I mean by the environment of the game world itself. I mean, we're up there in space, flying through these vast open areas, and then we transition down through these atmospheres towards these sometimes barren and stark planets, or other times sheer beautiful landscapes and vistas like the ones we're looking at here, where we've got these huge grassy tundras, these grassy meadows, and then the mountains off in the distance and all these lovely effects. Then, of course, we get the weather rolling in, and these can dramatically alter things, sometimes for the worst, sometimes for the better. Land up your ship, spend some time walking around the surface of these planets. You might encounter some flora or fauna. Some of it may be hostile, a lot of it's quite friendly. Sooner or later, maybe you'll come to an ocean. And here, depending on how you're actually playing the game, if you're in creative mode, you can just whip out a submarine. Otherwise, you might want to spend some time constructing one. But once you have this available, you can deploy your sub into the ocean and then go exploring the depths. And these are very interesting environments as well, because it's not just shallow water down here. You've got a whole world self-contained to itself, the whole range of flora and fauna under the sea. And you know what? You can find a load of things down here. I found an abandoned outpost. You can also use your sonar to find abandoned freighters and other such things, treasures and whatnot. And if you want to spend even more time down here, you can build full underwater bases. Elsewhere, back up in space, I discovered this huge abandoned derelict freighter. Land up on it, get out, and you soon get a little bit of a mission activity down on the bottom right hand side of the screen you can see there. And suddenly you've transitioned to these very different locales. Now we're in what feels like a horror environment, a horror movie. Dark, grim, very, very intimidating. And then you've got these alien creatures going around trying to bring a rapid end to you. And this is really the point I'm trying to make about the game world. So when I began this video, I said something very strange happened to the space game genre. And here's what I feel that is specifically. Today in No Man's Sky, there is no seam. Just as with that moment when we transition down from space to a planet's surface, all this happens invisibly, seamlessly as one smooth, pleasant experience. The same is true for the rest of the game. We walk through those grassy meadows, reach an ocean, jump into a submarine, explore the depths of an ocean, discover a flooded, abandoned outpost, return to land, get in a ship, fly into space, and discover a derelict freighter full of horrors. It's all one thing, and it's all seamless. This to me then is what 10 years of No Man's Sky has delivered. The idea, the very experience of a unified world that we can inhabit and live within. And here's the thing, I feel we would all be more than happy if that is where the story ended. But it doesn't end there, because this is just the opening, it's just the game world. There is the other half of the whole thing, which is what we do in the game world. And at this point I could talk about a whole list of different features and activities that the game has, but I think that would undersell the experience for you because, if you haven't played the game before and if you want to try it out, it's not just so much that there's a list of big, huge features that you can try out, but it's more the experience of what it's like to inhabit this game. And like I say, you can move around it in the way I've described, but there's also a whole different range of things you can do in it. And to me, it's about living in this world. For example, take me approaching my whole fleet here, because yes, you can have a fleet of different freighters. So you can summon this fleet at any time. You can jump from different star system to star systems and just summon them along, and when they turn up, you can dock with one of the main freighters. Inside, you've got the whole docking bay where you might be storing some of your other ships. You might find some NPCs there as well. Head up to the bridge and the command center. You can get engaged with different activities. One of those is seeing what your other ships have been up to during the missions that you've sent them on. Here you can see I need to debrief the ships, so I'll do that elsewhere. And this takes place in a different part of the ship, which I can actually construct myself, because yes, you can build corridors, you can build rooms. In fact, the fleet can very quickly become your own personal command center. Right here, we're debriefing the vessels that have been sent out, and you can see the different encounters they've had. It plays out as text here, flavor text, telling you exactly what they've done and what your reward is for that. For me then, this is just one of those elements of what it's like to live in this very rich and vast game world. And it's actually a really interesting thing as well, because what's going on here is that it very much feels like the world that No Man's Sky is carrying on without you. It doesn't need you there to be able to do its thing. And I feel that with this whole situation with the fleet. It's going out and obviously exploring and getting involved in combat, doing all these sort of things. Whilst no, it's probably not actually physically doing that, it's still recounting it as though that actually happened. And then of course, when you have all the player expeditions and other activities that players are getting involved with, or when you can go out and see other people's bases, the world feels very much alive. Like I said much earlier on in the video, I could go on and list all the features here, but I really don't want this to be a list video. I want it to be more of this is the experience of No Man's Sky as it stands today. It's for me, it's a seamless experience and a world which you can just jump in and engage with on so many levels. In fact, that's primarily the reason you'll hear so many people say so many different things about the game. It just really depends on what you enjoy from your space games and or your games in general. Whether that's multiplayer, whether that's survival, whether that's being highly creative, or just going out there and explore what there is to find. No Man's Sky then is available on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox and Switch. Do check out the links in the video description where you can find out everything you need to know. My thanks again to Hello Games for sponsoring this video.